Well, hello everybody, this is Cool Dude Clem here, and I'm doing this video mainly to help out Vintage Sounds 14 on his first reel-to-reel. And basically this is just going to go over the basic operation, how you record and how you play, and the basic operation of how to use a reel-to-reel. So let's get to it. Now before we start, I thought we'd go over the basic tape formats. Now what we've got here, this is what most home reel-to-reels are going to be, which is the quarter track format. As you can see, there are two tracks going this way and there are two tracks going the other way, so yes, you do get a side 2. And with this format you could have, say, one stereo recording on these two tracks here, so you got one track for each side of the stereo, and you could have another stereo recording on this track here, or you could have 4 mono recordings, or you could say have a stereo recording on this track here and a couple of mono tracks there. And if you're using the 4 tracks as 4 separate mono tracks, and you can go down to 1 7/8 inches per second, you'll get about 8 hours from a single tape. Of course, there are other formats. Now, we've got the half-track stereo, which is more used in the professional machines. As you can see, both tracks go the same way, and there is no side 2 with that format. This is the half-track mono machines, which a lot of the older household tape recorders use. You can see we've got one track going this way and one track going that way, so you get a side 2 with that format. And down here is the full-track mono format. And the nice thing about the quarter-track tape recorders is that all 3 of these other formats are completely compatible. However, you cannot play the quarter track format on the other type of machines, because if you do that, you'll get all kinds of weird things, such as some tracks playing backwards and hearing more than one track at once and stuff like that. So this video is just going to concentrate on the quarter track format. Now, there are some machines that can use all 4 tracks at once, but we won't go into that because most of them are going to be this particular format where you've got 2 tracks going one way and the other 2 tracks going the other way. So let's do some stuff. Okay, so I guess the first thing to show is how to actually thread one of these things. Now, I've taken the head shell off so you can see it more easily. And you want to start with a full reel of tape on this side and an empty reel of tape on this side. Then you just want to take the edge of the tape and thread it round like this. Well, at least that is how you do it on this one. Also, the tape needs to go under this thing here. And then to wind it onto the second spool, just line up this little slot here and slide the tape through. And you wind it on. Hopefully you can see from this angle here that there's a little diagonal slot in the actual hub of the reel itself, or whatever the hell it's called. You just wind that on a few times, and then it's ready to play.
All the way out here, and I've forgotten a lighter.
Oh.
I'll have to go back in and get one.
Gee.
You just stay here, and I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, I really don't want to do this.
Look, I know you don't want to be left.
And there we go. Now, I must say that it's not going to be exactly the same for all reel-to-reels, but it's going to be pretty similar to that because, there's different makes and models and things, so you might have to adapt it for your particular reel-to-reel. But anyway, let's move on to something, let's move on to some other whatevers. Okay, so, going to play a stereo tape on it now, and I've got this in stereo mode, and I'll just put it into play. And this is a stereo tape being played. As you can probably tell by the meters moving independently. And of course there is a side 2 on this things. So I shall swap the rails over. I'm doing this in real time without any editing so you can see for yourself. these little doogers on so the reels don't fall off. I'm just trying to thread the tape. You shouldn't really do this unless the tape is fully rewound or whatever, because you shouldn't touch the tape. But I'm just doing this for quickness. So now we can play the other side. And as you can probably tell, there's two recordings playing at the same time. And that's because this is two mono recordings. So I'm going to put this into mono mode, which is simply done by pulling this thing out. Of course, on your reel-to-reel, it's probably a different way, you know, because they all have their different ways of doing things. And I'm going to select which track I want to listen to. So now when I play it, there's one recording. I'll switch over to the other track. So you can see how well that works. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to record on one of these things. Okay, so before we start recording, if you want to make a stereo recording, and you've got one of these track selectors that's got the stereo thing on it, you want to make sure that that is set to the stereo position. Unfortunately, the knob is missing off mine. It's around somewhere, I just don't know where it is, but make sure that is in the stereo position. You want to make sure that it's not in mono mode. On this one, when you pull that out, that's mono. When you push that in, that's stereo. And if you have a switch that lets you listen to either the tape or what's coming in, you want to switch it onto the source or whatever it's labeled. It might be labeled source, it may be labeled line, it may be labeled something else. Next thing you want to do is put this into recording pause. So that is now ready to make a recording. And then you set your levels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the thing playing. Now I've got this set up so the record player will play through into the reel-to-reel. Now what you want to do is you want to get these levels so it doesn't go into the red. You've got to get that just so it barely, maybe only just occasionally touches the 0. So that's about right. Now start the tape playing. We'll start the tape moving. And we are now making a recording. Right, I'll stop the record player now. Switch this onto the tape output. I'm going to rewind the tape. This reel that I've put on here is a little bit warped, so it catches the tape sometimes as it goes around. But I shall play. Okay, that's way too far back. Just got to hunt around for that recording now. Should have reset the counter, that would have made it easier. There we go, there's the recording I made. Just to show that that is the tape. And there we go, that is basically how you make a stereo recording on a reel-to-reel. So now I'm going to show you how to make a monophonic recording. First of all, let's just see what's on the tape. Okay, we got Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. On both tracks. Anyway, I've put this into mono mode by pulling this thing out. I've selected the track I'm going to record on, so I'll put this into record standby. Put the thing onto source. Now I have my microphone that I'm using right here to record this commentary. It is also connected up to this. Now I will only need to adjust the left volume in this case. So I'm just going to adjust that until we get a good level. Okay, level, 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 level. Okay, that's about good. Let's just zoom in on that so you can see it. Trouble with this camera, it goes dark as it zooms in. But you might be able to see that as I speak, the left meter is moving. You might need to adjust a different volume level on your tape recorder. But on this one, you just need to adjust the left when making a monophonic recording. So I'm going to put this into, start this recording now, and I am recording myself on the left hand channel. And the right is responding a little bit, but that's not going to make any difference. I can turn that right down and that won't do anything at all. So anyway, making a recording on this tape, which I'm going to reset the counter this time, and I am recording a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn the volume level down while still recording on this tape. And with this thing, as this is a 3-head recorder, if I switch this into tape while I'm recording, I can actually hear from the tape, which produces this weird kind of echo. It's kind of messing with my head, so I'm going to turn it off. Anyway, let's play this back and see how it came out. So rewinding the counter to 0. I'm going to turn the amplifier up a little bit. And I've put this onto tape. So let's hear it. I'm going to reset the counter this time, and I am recording a bit loud, so I'm going to turn the volume. This tape's got a few dropouts on it, but I'm still recording on this tape. And with this thing, as this is a 3-head recorder, if I switch this into tape, now if I put this onto the other track, there's Jacko again, and there's me. Anyway, let's play this back and see how it came out. Pretty good.